all kinds of special activities in it. There's Valentine's Day and it's Black History Month, but there's also something that you might not know about February. February is Library Lovers Month. And so we are going to focus on everything about the library that we love this month during our crafts and our story time. Check out our kids' room on the south side section of our website, and you'll find all kinds of great activities in there for February. Our first story time to go this month for our Library Lovers Month is a story by Daniel Kirk. He's also done the illustrations, and it's called Library Mouse. This is the first in a great series about a little mouse friend who lives in the library. He doesn't live in this library. I wish he did. Wait till you find out what he does. Library Mouse. Sam was a library mouse. His home was in a little hole in the wall behind the children's reference books, and he thought that life was very good indeed. The reference books are the nonfiction section where kids can look up real facts about the world. Every day, when the library was full of people walking up and down the aisles, studying, checking out books, and working on the computers, Sam was curled up in his little hole, sound asleep. Every night, when the people went home and the room was dark and quiet, the library belonged to Sam. And every night Sam read. And he read and he read. Sam read picture books and chapter books. He read biographies and poetry, cookbooks and sports books, fairy tales and ghost stories, and mysteries by the dozen. Sam sounds a little bit like me. Sam's mind was filled with facts and information and images from faraway places, and his imagination brimmed over with wonder and fantasy. One night, Sam decided that it was time he wrote a book of his own. Sam folded over some little squares of paper he took from the librarian's desk to make the pages. Then he found a pencil that had rolled underneath a shelf, and he began to write. Write what you know, Sam had read in a book about writing. So Sam wrote about being a mouse. He drew the pictures for his book by posing in his little mirror and then sketching what he saw. See, there he is. He's looking at himself in the little tiny mirror, and then he's sketching the things that he saw. It must be an adventure book he's thinking about writing. He has a sword and a big cat. Now, does the big cat in the picture in his reflection? No. What he sees in the reflection is himself. But what he imagines he sees is himself with a sword and defending himself against a cat. Sam worked very, very hard, and finally his first book was done. He called it Squeak, A Mouse's Life, and he wrote on the cover, Words and Pictures by Sam. He went to the autobiography section of the library, and he tucked his first book into the shelf. Then he went back to his little hole in the wall, and he waited. Biographies and autobiographies are special kinds of non-fiction books here at the library, which means they are true books. They're not made up in your mind. Biographies are about a person. Autobiography is when that person writes a book about herself or himself. The next afternoon, sunlight streamed in through the library windows. "What is this?" asked a girl whose teacher had sent her to the library to do a book report. "I've never seen anything like this before," said the librarian, and she put Squeak, A Mouse's Life on her desk. Later, she showed it to the other librarians. Sam decided to write another book. It was called The Lonely Cheese, and working on the book made him feel very hungry. It was a good thing that he always found so many crumbs to eat by the trash basket in the hallway. When he had finished the illustration, Sam scurried to the picture book section and proudly placed his latest book on the shelf. Then he went back to his little hole in the wall and he waited. The Lonely Cheese. The next morning, sunlight streamed in through the library windows. "What's this?" asked a little boy who was looking for a big book about trucks. "It's another book by Sam," said the librarian. "Just who is this Sam?" she thought to herself, and she put The Lonely Cheese on her desk. Later, she showed it to the children at story time. Sam decided to write a chapter book. It was called Mystery of Mouse Mansion, and it gave Sam goosebumps when he wrote down the scary parts. The full moon was shining down through the windows of the darkened library when Sam crept over to the mystery section and sneakily placed the book on the shelf. Then he went back to his little hole in the wall and he waited. The next day, sunlight streamed in through the library windows. "What is this?" asked a teenager who was looking for a good, creepy book to read before bed. "We have got to find out who this Sam is," said the librarian. "I will leave a note on the bulletin board and tell him that I would like to meet our new author." She put Mystery of Mouse Mansion on her desk, and later she showed it to the writing class that came in after school. That night, Sam found the note and read it. It read, "Dear Sam, all of us at the library have been enjoying your books immensely. We are all wondering who this mysterious Sam really is. Whoever you are, you certainly have a lot of talent. Not everyone has it in them to write even a single book, let alone 3. We think it would be fun to have a Meet the Author Day with you as our special guest. The children would love to hear you read your books and share some of your secrets for writing. Yours truly, Mrs. Forrester, Head Librarian." Oh gosh, what's Sam gonna do? I'm not even sure he's supposed to be in the library. Sam felt very nervous. He was happy that the children at the library liked his books. He was flattered that they wanted to meet him. But mice, as a rule, are very shy when it comes to meeting people. Sam could not understand why people thought that writing and making up stories was so hard. If only they would try, they might find out that writing was really a lot of fun. Sam had an idea. He went to the librarian's desk and he got some supplies. And all night long he wrote and drew and snipped and folded and stapled his little rectangles of paper into mouse-sized books. Meet the Author Day. Look, he's inside a tissue box maybe in there. In the morning, when the librarian opened up the children's room, there was a sheet of paper taped to the door. Meet the Author Day, it read. A little girl was the first to see Sam's display, all set up on the front table. "What is this?" she asked. There sat a tissue box with a pair of pencils taped to the sides and a banner stretched across the top. On the banner was written, "Meet the Author," with an arrow pointing down. What do you guys think is going to be in there? Do you think Sam will be there? The girl bent over the empty tissue box. She said in surprise, for there at the bottom of the box lay Sam's little mirror, and in the mirror the little girl saw her own smiling face, her face smiling up at her. "Me?" she said, "an author?" Next to the mirror was a stack of tiny blank books and a pile of pencils that Sam had sharpened with his own little teeth. All that day and for many more thereafter, people came to the little display to meet the author. Soon there was a whole shelf full of books written and illustrated by people who had never written a book before, telling stories that had never been told. Look at all the stories that the kids were writing, and they put them up on the shelf. This boy named Mike wrote one called Zip Zoom, and this one is called The Perfect Pet. Wow. Sam was a library mouse. His home was in a little hole in the wall behind the children's reference books. All that night, Sam sat in his hole thinking and thinking about the next book he would write. Would it be a mystery, an adventure, a funny book, a true story? There were so many stories to tell. Aha, he thought, I'll just have to write one of each. Sam picked up his pencil and he got to work. Have you guys ever written your own story? When we get back together, soon, I hope, and everybody can come back to the library, we will have some fun writing stories. But until then, you can write them at home, or you can just read your favorite book. So included in our Storytime to Go packet today, you're going to find a little baggie, and it has something that looks like this. You guys know what that is? Let's see. It has something to do with books. If you poke the little hole out of it, do you know what that might be? I don't know. I might need another hint. Let's see what else might be included in the bag that you guys are going to get. Oh, there's a string in there. I wonder what we do with that. Do you think we should put it through the hole? Let's try. If I bend it together like this, you guys have seen me do this on other craft projects, and I take the two ends, I like them to be even, but that's just me. Put the two ends, and you can put them through the hole there. Pull them through. See how I did that? And then if you take your finger through the loop, grab them like that, and then pull it. See how it looped over the top of there? Wonder if that's a way to attach it on. Wonder what that could be. Does that look like anything to you guys yet? Hey, wait a second. I know what that could be. Let's make that into a bookmark. Then when you guys are reading during Love Your Library Month, you'll always know where you are when you finish. So you guys will have included in here one of our bookmarks and a string, so I showed you how to put that on. And I'm also going to put all kinds of funny stickers and sticky stuff that you could put on to decorate your bookmark, or you could use markers too, but there's going to be lots of stuff in there. See, I'm going to put all this kind of stuff in there that has all these little shapes. There's hearts and flowers and some letters on there. So you guys will be able to make your bookmark your own. And then when you write your stories, you can read them later on and know where you are, or you can have fun reading other people's stories. So I hope you guys enjoyed Library Mouse, and I will see all of my friends later on this month for National Love Your Library Month in February. Take care. Bye-bye.